And welcome back once again as we come to you live from Kenny Fry's office here at the German American Bank. And the folks out here at GAB have been very helpful over the years. And Don, I'm talking to Teresa about this. We started with the Sesquicentennial, and that kind of grew into the SummerFest. And you've been on the SummerFest Live program with us every year that we've done it.
Yes, that's
here
true.
From German American Bank. So 8 years that we've done the SummerFest, 9 if you count the Sesquicentennial, but 8 years you've been here with us, and how fitting is it that we have you back one more time?
Well, yes, this is my last time, and I have to say this is one of the things that I enjoy, being involved with the SummerFest. We just have such a great group of people that are working on this, and as I said in my article that they put in the paper, a message from the mayor. The meetings start as soon as this one is over for next year, and this year we've got probably 10 or 12 people. Teresa was very gracious when she listed me as co-chairman of this thing. Actually, Teresa is she's the top dog, and she does everything. If they depended on me with all the other responsibilities I have, I'm afraid that a lot of it wouldn't get done. But she has Karen Mattingly from the Chamber of Commerce, and Kay Summers from our office, Linda Ellis, my assistant, Polly Bledsaw, Brad Wade, Mike Arvin, Greg Bateman. Greg is just great in everything he does. And of course Noel Hardy has been very involved with him this year and last year with the auction. So they've got a good group of people, and they just keep working year after year and do such a great job. I know that if they really wanted to, they could grow this thing a lot more, but it takes people to do all this, and they're limited by the number of people they have, and I don't know that it has ever really hurt them a lot, but I think if more people came out, showed up, and helped, that they probably would be able to do even more than they are. But all the business people take advantage of it. They understand they've got their property cleaned up, and the city's been helping running the street sweeper. Donnie and his guys are a big help to them. So it takes a lot of people. It takes a lot of people to do this thing, and we all add our little bit and help these people that are trying to do it all while we get there and have another really good year.
That's one of the things that we did want to talk about, the little program book that they have, the little brochure. Actually, that design is on some banners on the light poles downtown, and that helps to freshen up when we change those out. And I believe SummerFest Committee actually purchased those, and if you're driving through town, that's one of the benefits. They do not take the money out of here or spend all of it every year. They do reinvest some of it, and that's a great thing for the community.
That is a great thing for the community. They did purchase those banners themselves, and they have some banners that are handmade that they will be putting up for the weekend. They just do a great job, and the people that are involved just really put a lot of effort into it.
We always talk about the city part of the things this time of year. You talked about some of the guys and what they do, but SummerFest couldn't do this without the help of the city and your office. And as you said, they've run the street sweeper, but it takes a little bit of effort to close streets down and to make this happen, even on the city side of things. Why don't you talk about some of the folks in those departments that do such a great job with this?
Well, as far as cleaning the streets initially, they do that, and then the guys go in when they close up at night. The guys go in and empty all the trash cans, and that takes a lot of effort right there. Get out and basically in the middle of the night to do those things and make sure that that all the things they're responsible for are done. As far as the street closings, it's amazing the first couple of years how difficult it was to get that down pat. This street, this is the one you want closed from 5 to 10 on Thursday and Friday, and 7 to midnight or 10 o'clock, I believe it is, on Saturday. And we had a real hard time working that all out because we have different hours for different streets. And it took a little bit of doing, but for the last few years, we've just done the same thing that we did last year. So the council has been willing to do that. When we first started, there were people who thought maybe it might be a problem to close the street in front of the post office because that's a federal building, and comment was made, you can't do that. Well, the fact of the matter is you can do that. So we do close that street on Saturday when the post office is still open, and it is a little inconvenience, but people do understand that you got to put out a lot of effort, and maybe that includes everyone.
Don, some of the events that are going on here, I think Greg in the committee have done a great job with the entertainment this year. And you've had the chance to see the Duke boys before. I don't know if you've seen the Jones gang, but that's some local folks. We try to tend to keep the entertainment locally on Friday night, but I understand they're pretty good.
As a matter of fact, the Jones gang, Ron Jones is my nephew. So I've known Ron since.
I told him the Joneses are related to just about everybody. So
that's right. Well, the Bowlings are too. If I go back far enough, I can find that I have relatives all around me. But yeah, the Jones boys or the Jones gang, they're very good. They've been around longer than a lot of people think, and they're good at what they do. They put a lot of effort into it, and local talent is always very much appreciated.
Then we've got, scattered in there some, local folks that'll just be singing songs here and there. But one of the items that we got in on the paper there, and he mentioned your name coming up in the interview, says that Jackson Young is going to sing right before the Duke boys, and he said you're a fan of his.
Yes, I didn't know about Jackson until, I don't know if it was last year or the year before. His name came up, and I read a little bit about Jackson, and as a matter of fact, I had his email address and sent him an email encouraging him and thanking him for remembering us and representing us as well as he does. He does a great job representing the city of Loogootee, and it's my understanding that he's not bashful in telling where he's from.
No, he definitely isn't. He's not bashful about talking at all. And folks, after we get done with Don, we'll talk with him and hear one of his songs, which ironically is entitled Summertime Girl, so that kind of fits in. But the Duke boys, you've had a chance to see them before. A lot of folks around have, and just a great act to bring in there on Saturday night.
It is. It really is. The Duke boys are great entertainment, and Greg Bateman, not only is he a great guy to MC a ceremony or baseball game, basketball game, whatever it is, Greg is at home behind the mic, and he also has quite a lot of talent for getting good acts for the SummerFest. So Greg's another person that's just invaluable.
Yeah, he kind of bailed on me and left me in charge of that SummerFest Queen pageant, and I tell you what, standing down for baseball from 11 o'clock to 5:30 and then coming straight to the Queen pageant was a long day, Don.
Yes, I was there for that, and had an opportunity to welcome people. Most of these functions, my responsibility is just to welcome the people, and I always say I get off pretty easy because it's I enjoy welcoming people to Loogootee. I think it's a great time of year for them to come visit, and we do have quite a few people that come home, and renew their old acquaintances, renew their friendships, and find out what's going on with the city, and maybe it'll entice some of them to come back some of these days. I have a son of my own who is he's been gone for he graduated from high school in 1985, so basically he's been gone for 26 years, and he's back now. As a matter of fact, he's going to buy my home, and I'm going to I'm going to move to.
So the question is,
that's part of the deal.
Did you give him a good deal on it?
Oh, I gave him a good deal on it. Yeah.
You're still going to live in the city limits of Loogootee, so it's just a great place to live. But as we kind of wind things down here, you're going to finish up your year in office. A lot of milestones have happened here. We've got some work going on over at the Elementary East, and we've got stimulus leasing that building, and we should see a lot of folks coming into the community here shortly.
Well, as far as my time winding down, it is, and of course I decided when I was elected for a second term that would be my last one. And then at the last minute I decided, well, I really enjoy this. I want to stay in. But by that time, the other candidates had an opportunity to get out and get their name out there. So it was a little late for me to advertise, and I probably should not have done that. But you find something you like, you want to keep doing it, and I have really enjoyed the time that I've spent. I spent 35 years in a factory at National Gypsum Company at Shoals, and that's pretty confining. I was a lot of my time was 7-day weeks, and I didn't have an opportunity to get involved in community affairs or any of that kind of efforts. And when I did get involved, I found out that it was something I really enjoyed, and I love working with people, and everyone has just been really good, and I've been very surprised at how much respect you get for being mayor of a small city like Loogootee. It's something that you have to experience to understand it, and I never knew it was there, but I have really enjoyed what I've done, and I wouldn't trade the last 8 years for anything.
The milestones that are going on, they've actually signed the last contract. So from Evansville all the way to the depot up at Crane, I-69 is under contract. So that's something that we should see completed here in the next couple of years, and that's really going to help that engine up there. And one of the things that you've been very active in is trying to bring business and industry, and that incubator up there at Westgate, you've been very involved at that.
Oh, very much so. Right after I was elected, before I ever took office, I was invited to be a member of the Martin County Redevelopment Commission, and that was sort of a stepping stone into the Westgate Authority, and I have been involved with Westgate for 8 years now, since '03. And as I mentioned, that's one of the things that I really enjoy. And you mentioned I-69. I was at a meeting last night, and the speaker was one of the folks from NDOT, Vincennes, Cher Goodwin Elliott, and she gave us an up-to-date rundown of what's going on with I-69. And of course, they're having problems around Bloomington, but they will work that all out. And she even discussed the section 5 and 6 that go from Bloomington to Martinsville, and then Martinsville all the way up to Indianapolis. And there'll be a lot of changes on that road. That I-69 is a limited access road, and there's a lot of access to 37 from Bloomington to Indianapolis. So some of that will change, and she explained all that. I've had an opportunity to meet a lot of people, not only in NDOT, but also state government, and most of that came through I-69. I can don't mean to be bragging about the friendships I've made, but I count the governor as a personal friend, the lieutenant governor, and a lot of representatives and senators from around the state. So I've made a lot of friends, and I think all that is very, very helpful to the city of Loogootee when you're looking for grant funding and programs to help the city. The Larkin apartment building, the 2 downtown facade programs, the Ritz Theater parking lot, all that came about because of people that I happen to know, and the city does not have a dime invested in any of those 4 programs. The match was made up somewhere else. So we got a couple $1 million worth of effort there without anything being contributed by the city. So it's been a lot of fun. It's been very productive. We've had challenges. We've got the perfect fit building, which I believe we're gonna see some fruits of our effort there very soon. Although we haven't got people back to work yet, but I think we're going to see fruits to our efforts there very soon. And we get this latest building built at Westgate. I think that place is just going to explode. So we got about 10 buildings up there now, and it wouldn't surprise me in a couple of years if we had 20 buildings.
Well, Don, we talk about stepping down as mayor here, but that doesn't mean you're retiring. You retired before, and I know you're very active in the church, and of course with St. Vincent de Paul and Knights of Columbus. I believe you'll continue to stay busy.
Oh, it'll be very easy to stay busy. As a matter of fact, I've already had an offer to get involved in a new project, which I'm afraid I'll have to turn down because I've had to slow down in a lot of the involvements I've had. The church, for one, the St. Vincent de Paul. The month after I retired from National Gypsum Company, I was invited to become a member of St. Vincent de Paul, and within about 6 months, it was a full-time job, and of course that's all charity work. You don't get paid for any of that. So between 1990 and 2003, I didn't have a lot of spare time. I did manage to get a few things done around home, but I spent a lot of time at St. Benny's, and that there again, that's time well spent, because it's the end result there of what you do is to help people who are disadvantaged in one way or another. So that was time very well spent. I may have more markers laid up for that than anything else I've done in my life, but I enjoyed that. I had to slow down on that activity. I had to slow down on my activity at the KFC. But I belong to a lot of boards right now around over the country, around over southern Indiana, and I've already been asked to, if I can, to stay on those boards. And when you enjoy something, you do make that effort. So I'll be busy.
Don, we appreciate it. As we said, you've been with us every year, and we love talking about SummerFest. We love talking about the city here because it is a great place to live.
Oh, I love it, and I just can't imagine being anywhere else.
All right. Well, we appreciate you stopping by this morning.
Thank you.